not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Welcome to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Huge show this week. All kind of stuff going on. Lots of great information. We are in that chaos and craziness of the spring market. We're seeing that right now. It's awesome time, right? So obviously the weather's gotten great. All kind of great stuff going on. And so we got lots of news we'll talk about. And one of the things we'll go over today, super excited about, is the brand new micro market numbers and stunning numbers. Some of those are down significantly. I saw one down 35% in terms of sales. If you look at month versus month in that zip code. But the good news is we're seeing that recover. The deals that closed last month, which would have been February, typically went into contract in November, December. So we'll talk about that. Really just help you understand, hey, what happened in your area, what happened in your zip code, your neighborhood, and kind of give you a breakdown because it's all over the place. Myrtle Beach has a very dynamic market. And right now we're also in a very interest rate driven real estate market, which we'll talk about kind of what's going on with that. So the good news is pending sales up significantly. They're right on track where they were last week, but we're seeing huge numbers in terms of new properties going under contract, which is great news. Like I mentioned, the seller's market is here. And the one thing that I'll share to the national article that just came out that says why the spring seller's market is good for your bottom line. 100% agree with that. We have seen an increase in inventory, just a lot. Basically, we're talking in our morning huddle this year. We saw the most inventory on the market for homes than we've seen the last 3.5 years. And so that's good news for home buyers. Not as good news for home sellers. But the good news is the demand is still outpacing inventory. We're still in a shortage, which we'll talk about. We also have some amazing success stories, two of which are great radio show listeners. One past client sold multiple properties with us. We'll talk about that. But our team's been absolutely. We also have that same investment fund that we bought a lot of properties. I bought 2 properties this week and made an offer on one just about an hour ago. And I have millions and millions of dollars in a part of a fund that I help manage. And I look to buy properties instantly, cash as is. We can close as quick as you like, up a week, 2 weeks. As quick as they do the paperwork, we can close as long as you like. When I did almost a 4-month out because they were buying something and building in Florida. They didn't want to deal with any hassle. They just wanted to buy it and close simultaneously. They could guarantee their new build in Florida. That's exactly what we did. It worked out. It was a win-win for both. And so we always try to make sure we're giving fair prices with that. It's an instant cash offer buyout, and it's something that we offer here that's very, very unique and much different than anyone else is offering. And also we have the full retail program, which we're best at. What we're best in the country at, in my opinion, is our marketing, our sales to help get any property sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time, which is awesome. So a lot of great stuff today. If you ever want to come back and watch any of these, you can always go back online to YouTube. Just search Blake Sloan Radio Show. You can find it on Facebook, restream it under my name, Blake Sloan. You can also go to Sloan Realty Group, and lots of great stuff. We also have it on your favorite podcast, whatever you like, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you like to do. Just type in Blake Sloan Radio Show, and lots of those episodes there, so you can share that. And we just have one main goal, the same goal we do every week here for the last 14 plus years on this station, is just keep you updated on anything and everything real estate related in Myrtle Beach. And the one goal I have for you is just to make better decisions with people's largest asset. For most people, real estate is their largest asset. It's really largest part of their wealth. And my job is what I really am passionate about, is just helping you just kind of stay in the know what's happening in terms of numbers, keep your pulse on what's going on. So when you do make decisions to buy or sell or invest or whatever it is, to help you make the most of that money. And we do that every single week.
All right, a lot of stuff to get to. If you just tuned in for the very first time and you're not sure who you're listening to or what you're listening to, it's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show, hosted by, of course, Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan has been called the real estate whiz kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, other national publications. You may be seeing him on TV with NBC and also with Fox and Press, the morning show. You've heard the personal endorsements here by Sean Hannity, also Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaLotte. Put them all together, it's just totally unprecedented. Now, that's one thing, but the other thing is that Blake has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details, but more than happy every week to tell you the most important part of that system.
Absolutely. And this is the whole entire reason why we do the show, the whole reason why I take time to prep for it. Really just, if anything comes out of it, it's the only hope that I just want to help people make better decisions. And so when I say that, people think, oh, that's not me. It's you, right? Here's why. I've been doing this for 20 years now. I was about 19 years, January 2005 when I started. So almost 20 years, 19 years now. And I see the same mistake over and over and over and over and over. It does not matter how affluent they are. And actually, the more affluent they are, the worse decisions they make in terms of real estate. They tend to go with a friend or the housewife of the friend who just happens to live in their neighborhood, even though they only sold 2 houses last year or 3 houses last year. Or they think, well, this so and so is a top producer, or they just live in the neighborhood and they had 6 listings that sold. They didn't bring one single buyer. Like, it's all crazy to see. And everyone makes the same mistake of thinking that all real estate agents are the same, and it could not be any further from the truth. And we do joke about that. We're like, man, the most affluent people tend to make the worst decisions in terms of real estate and how they pick their agent, because they tend to go, who do you know? And they tend to want to know, well, who lives in the neighborhood or who sold another house in the neighborhood. And they didn't realize that, yeah, that agent sold 3 houses in their neighborhood, but that's the only 3 houses they sold. And they actually only sold those 3 because they lived there, and they just got the listing because they knew the person who owned the house, and they didn't do any marketing or bring any buyer to the table at all. And that's just something that we see over and over. And so here's the deal, and this is why I do the show. The agent you choose matters more than anything. The single most important variable that determines your success or your failure as a home seller comes down to one thing, and that thing is the agent that you choose, period, right? Not your wall color, not your staging, not your grass quality, not the time of year you list the house. It comes down to how does your agent actually execute from A to Z. And what most of you don't realize, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, it puts money in your pocket. If anything's handled incorrectly, right, aka they drop the ball at any point. And this could be anything from, does the agent answer the telephone when somebody calls a for sale sign? Test it, right? Most don't answer the phone. We secret shop all the time, and almost no one answers the phone. They don't respond to web leads at all. In some cases, it'll take 2 or 3 days if you get anything. What's the quality of the photos? What's the order of the photos? It's unbelievable in terms of things that you see in this business. And the reality is the consumer just has no clue, and they can't figure out why their house is not selling. But ultimately, it ends up is not price. It's actually the way it's been marketing. And so the reality is everyone makes that mistake. Like I mentioned, that all the agents the same. And it's just like any doctor, any lawyer, right? If you're charged with a crime you didn't commit, or if I need some type of legal representation for a high stakes case, like high stakes, like your home equity almost, right? I want the absolute best attorney who specializes in that type of law, who is a bulldog, who's super aggressive, who's going to look and understand every single detail, so that I know that we have a competitive advantage when we're in that courtroom, right? You should demand that same level of excellence when you're dealing with your largest asset. And that's a fact, right? Because everyone's different, and we're in a service-based business. And so the one thing you run into is that personality is the only real differentiator there. And so it comes down to, how do they actually execute? Are they aggressive in that? Are they, attention to detail? And you'll find that most agents are just flying by the seat of their pants. And that's what you have a major problem where selling a property on the listing side, very complex. There's a lot of nuances, a lot of things that have to happen in the right order to make sure that you get the most amount of money. That's how we know there's 118 variables. Most agents have no clue how many there are. And so we sat out and said, look, how do we reverse engineer exactly what has to happen every single time to create predictable results for our clients and give them a competitive advantage? And that's exactly what we did. We literally sat for weeks and weeks and months and just mapped out what has to happen first, what has to happen second, what has to happen third, who has to be involved. Okay, well, how do we have people in place to make sure we manage those variables? And number two, how do we hold them accountable to make sure they did do those things they were supposed to do? And that's exactly what we do. We built this system. I designed this system. It's what got us featured in Forbes, Wall Street Journal, Fox News, all those things. Is I designed this thing called the Guaranteed Sold System, the only proven system that sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. I designed it. It's exclusive to us. We do license to other parts of the country, to other agents, but it's amazing. Anyone we sit down with, it absolutely blows their mind. Every detail is managed. And we back it up by really two main things. Number one is a large team of people, 25 plus buyers agents, or at 30 right now. We have inside sales team, or inside specialists that they're on the phones all day, every day. Outside sales team, listing partners. We have a listing coordinator, closing coordinator, in-house photographer, in-house videographer, in-house graphic design. All these things matter to make sure that we can manage the variables proactively so that we stack these dominoes up. And what we do is we create a small gap for our client at step one, create a small gap for our client at step two, small gap for our client, step three, and you stack all those dominoes up and you knock those dominoes over. It creates small gaps that add up, all 118 different variables, and it creates a massive gap and a massive competitive advantage at the end. One of the best analogies been able to find is that, look, you watch a marathon, they have a shotgun start, they shoot the gun, right? Everyone starts running, everything looks the same. But what happens is over minutes and hours, people tend to spread out, and all of a sudden you have some finish 2 and 3 hours ahead of the people. It's the same exact thing that we do with the marathon of your house. Right? We're world class in that. We're one of the best in the world in what we do, and we're able to finish hours ahead of anyone else in terms of how we do it because we sprint through the entire marathon. So if you want to know more how that works, definitely reach out to me. You owe it to yourself to at least understand, look, what questions should I ask when I hire an agent? What makes you different in terms of what you do? What's your marketing budget in terms of how you actually market? How many buyers do you have for houses like mine? These are questions that you owe it to yourself to ask, to figure out, not just go in your gut feeling based on what they tell you, or right, make sure that you just pick the one that's the cheapest, because that's not going to work out in the courtroom. It's not going to work out in terms of real estate. And it's just funny. We had somebody call in the office this week. Property wasn't selling. They wanted a discount agent, and we're pretty much the same as everyone else. We have a much higher, in terms of volume. We do a lot of units, right? Between 600, 800 homes a year, depending on what year, the past few years. And so the reality is we're pretty much cost as everyone else, but we're much more efficient in what we do. We had this lady call in very, very upset. And she said that she wanted somebody different because all her agent did was ride around in his golf cart all day in his flip-flops. And so it was like, okay, well, there you go. That's what you get, right? You get what you pay for in that scenario. So we look it up, and it's got some of the worst photos we've ever seen in what we do that were taken from a cell phone. They're dark, they're blurry. And it's very simple. We could figure out in 2 seconds why our property hasn't sold. But that just goes back, right? That was an example of someone who's very sweet, very good, who did not understand what questions to ask. And we showed her, and it absolutely blew her mind in that scenario. And so thankfully it expired. And so we were able to show, look, here's why it didn't sell. Here's what you probably could have done differently. And she was absolutely blown away. And so that's for sellers out there. For buyers out there, guess what? It's the same exact difficult 100 plus variables when you're buying a property. If each variable is handled correctly, it saves you money. Property that you want, you get. If anything's mishandled, the agent doesn't know what they're doing, doesn't handle the nuance correctly, or if they're desperate, they're going to throw you in the bus in 2 seconds and not get you negotiation like you deserve. So we designed a system that's proven repeatable. It's called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. It gives you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as the home inspection to get you that closing table successfully. And both of those, we're very, very passionate about being your real estate resource for life. We want to be our clients' resource for anything and everything they need. They need a plumber, call us. You need an electrician, call us. We make sure we get you the absolute best ones who will give you a great deal because of the volume that we do. And so if you want to know more how either one of those work, you owe it to yourself to at least investigate. If you're thinking about selling this year, you owe it to yourself to at least get educated on, hey, what's happening? How do I make the right decision? And after I've seen this business, I do it in everything, from doctors I meet with, attorneys I meet with, right? I always want to understand what are the right questions to ask, what makes it different. And because you see so many different things and over, I saw somebody here that works at this radio station posted on Facebook. They went to the doctors, like the whatever, the doc in a box place, had some type of infection, like sinus infection or flu or whatever. They did the flu was negative, sinus infection. They gave him X amount of medicine. His wife had the same exact sickness, went to the same exact place, got a different doctor, and guess what she got? Different medicine, not even the same close. And it's the same thing you see, right? It comes down to how has the person executed what they do? How committed are they to their craft? And are they absolutely obsessed with getting the best results? And that's exactly what we do. If you want to know how that works, reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com anytime. Quick break, right back in a second.
And the same is true for your real estate transactions. Now, when you sell your home, you need to speak to one of the agents right here in town that will get you the most money with the least hassle. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, knowing the facts, when you vote and when you sell your home is always important. That's why you should check out the value of your home in today's market. When you know the accurate value, you are better equipped to make an informed decision with all the options laid out for you. Options like an instant offer, or lay out your timeline and take advantage of their guaranteed sale program, or just put it on the market and get more money than you expected. Just go to the website, find out your home's value in seconds. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD, or online at BlakeSloan.com. That's BlakeSloan.com. And get your home's real value in today's market in just seconds, and then you can start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Barber. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. We offer several options for home sales. It really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers at time crunch, you can agree to sell it by a certain date, pay cash for your home, or even rent it.
That's great. If the seller has a bit more time,
Use our approved marketing plan and sell it for the highest price.
Work with my friend Blake Sloan and get your home sold on your terms.
Welcome back, Blake Sloan Radio Show. Market update, all kind of stuff going right now. It's all over the place, which is interesting, and it's data kind of chaos right now, which is what I love. I'm a big nerd for data, big nerd for numbers, so I can help use that to give our clients a massive competitive advantage where many don't even understand the data or even look at it. We track a lot, right? We track the micro market, which is what's happening in specific areas like your zip code, the macro market, what's happening on the Grand Strand. And most of those numbers are numbers that are in arrears, meaning they're the rearview mirror. They closed last month, meaning they recorded, the deal was done, and though if they closed last month, they went under contract 30 to 60 days prior, some cases 90 days prior. So you want to kind of make sure you're looking at two types of numbers, because I base all my decisions based off just data that closed last month. Now I'm making decisions based off what buyers were thinking and doing in November. And so you want to make sure they are November, December too. So that's the rearview mirror numbers. We'll talk about that. The front windshield numbers, that's what's happening real time right now. We track that every single day in my office. Every morning we go over the 9 a.m. huddle. We're like, hey, look, here's what happened. And it's like right now, in the last 7 days, 583 properties went under contract, which is great. Anytime we're really 550 or above, the market is smoking. Last week, it was 583 on the dot, which is interesting. The only thing that's changed a little bit week over week is the amount of volume. So in the last 7 days, as of today, right before the show, there was $230,882,000 of the property went under contract, meaning buyer and seller agreed, went under contract. It's what we call pending. And at that point, you're going through a due diligence period or going through financing period, and they'll close usually 30, 60, 90 days later. So interesting enough, there's 10 properties over $1 million. Usually it's a little bit higher than that. Like last week was 18. One of those properties was $12,900,000. It's a big commercial place next to Coastal Carolina. My stepdad was one of the agents on that. Big congrats to him on that. 106 properties over 500,000, which is a lot, which is good to see here from Myrtle Beach. And the one thing here, if you look back just a couple weeks ago, it was at 601 properties for 237 million. Rates have gone back up. We're back above the sevens, which we'll talk about. And so you've seen it drop a little bit, but we're still seeing a much earlier market. Anytime it's over 200 million, the market is hot. It's very, very good. We are seeing the spring market in full effect. You can probably see it, people in town, but we're seeing it in terms of people buying right now. And that's great news overall. Looking at the overall marketplace in general, I'll do a quick recap for anyone that missed last week's show. A quick touch on it. Closed sales last month were down 6.8% from the same month last year, with 346 properties sold. We did a low in December at 300 properties sold. That was the lowest it's been since January 2016. Median sales price right now is up 7% year over year, which is awesome. This is for single family resale homes, 380,000, which is great news there. The average sale price right now along the entire Grand Strand area is up 13%, which is great news at $484,658, which is good news, of course. Supply is actually up a little bit, not too much. It's been up really the past almost 3 months. December 3.2 months, January 3.4 months, February 3.5 months, and so you're seeing that overall. It's still a super seller's market. We are seeing the largest amount of inventory that we've seen really in about 3.5 years in a way. So it's one of those things we're kind of seeing for sure. We're seeing a very high number in terms of what's available. And that's just a hypothetical equation used to say, okay, with the current run rate of properties, aka how many people are buying, if there wasn't a single listing that came in the market, how long would it take for all those to run out? And right now, 3.5 months. And so if you go back to just like March 2022, it was 1.0 months. And so it's up significantly overall. If you look last year in February, it was at 2.4 months inventory. Right now we're at 3.5. And so that's great news for home buyers out there. A lot more to choose from. That's one thing I missed a minute ago. Right now there's 1,052 properties available for sale right now. Single family homes in Horry County, which is awesome. We've been above the thousands really for the past couple months, which is great news for buyers out there. We're really seeing a lot of spring inventory come in, which is awesome. Days on market, overall average days on market to sell a property is 104 days, which is pretty long for it to be kind of a hot market overall. The average amount of showings per listing right now, you're running into our, one second here, just froze up, our 4.7 showings per listing. They're down 13% from last year. The problem is the amount of showings it takes to get an offer is 14.2. So you're getting 4.7 showings on the average listing, but the amount of showings you need to get a contract on average is 14.2. So the mathematics there, right? What we do for our clients, look at, hey, look, how much traffic are we getting? Have we had 14 showings yet? Overall, if we haven't, then guess what? We need to make sure we figure out something else to get more traffic, either through marketing and how we adjust that, pushing it out to one of the buyers that we have, or also we obviously want to make sure make some type of adjustment on price. With us, though, we have a lot of what we call buyers in waiting, and so we know exactly what the criteria is, and so we have a sales team that reach out specifically to those buyers that are already looking for something just like it. So our showings per listing to go under contract is typically a little bit lower than average because we have much more of a concierge type service with a whole buyer team that reaches out to buyers who we already have. We handpick and show them, hey, look, here's exactly what you're looking for. Do you want to take a look at it? They say yes, because it is exactly what they want. We have an algorithm that tells us what they've been searching for, and it matches them up based on percentage match. And so it's been a great tool for us overall. And if you want to know more about that, we can obviously kind of show that to you. Anyone we show it to, it absolutely blows their mind. We'll have a house in a neighborhood. We say, okay, here's your house here in Carolina Forest. We click it, we show it. 484 buyers that match that criteria, and it'll score them. This person is 99% match. This person is 98% match, and we're able to do that. And our sales team reaches out, makes the phone calls, reaches out, makes the text messages, reaches out, makes the emails, and we're able to get those buyers in within the first couple of days, which is how we're able to increase demand for it, increase the eyeballs on it, increase the showings, and obviously help property sell faster and for more money. You have to actually hustle versus most agents just sit back, put it in MLS, and pray that someone else brings a buyer. So looking at MLS for the last month of the micro market, very, very interesting numbers. So if you look at the 29577, 29572 zip codes, I'm going to fly through it because it's just one of those that it's hard to do on the radio, but I get the most feedback from it. Closed sales down 36% last month in Myrtle Beach, which is crazy. Here's the crazier part. Median price in February down 28%. So last February 2023 in Myrtle Beach, prices were $525. Right now, the median price $376, which is interesting, right? I don't think it's a huge, major concern, but I do think there could be some nuances based on types of properties you're selling. But you have seen it kind of change a little bit based on the interest rates being so high. People kind of change what they were buying. So it doesn't mean your property necessarily went down in value, but it does show that buyers are buying something a little more affordable because rates did go up, right? So very, very interesting there. Inventory in Myrtle Beach is up 10.7%. In February versus February, which is interesting, right? Overall, year to date so far, Myrtle Beach sales down 35.8%, which is crazy. Values, prices down 18.8% from $492 last year to $399, $800 now. And so that's why you want to experienced agent. We have software we design. We can break down your exact neighborhood, do these same type data for your neighborhood, and look exactly how to plan that and get that for you. Condos in Myrtle Beach last February, they're down 7.5% for the same zip code. Prices though up significantly for condos, up 22% from 184 to 225, which is great news. Year to date condo sales for in Myrtle Beach down 11.1%. Prices though are up 11.6% at 229,000, which is awesome. In North Myrtle Beach, 29582 zip code, sales last month were up 8.5%, which is awesome. And median sales price up 35.6%, which is great, from 485 to 657, 420. So huge. There almost a $200,000 increase in terms of median home value, median sales price in North Myrtle Beach. And so a huge difference there, right, from Myrtle Beach versus North Myrtle Beach, which is why you want an agent who understands these numbers when you dig down a case-by-case basis in that scenario. Inventory is also up. We're seeing that across the board, up 8.8%. Year-to-date, prices up 23.1% in North Myrtle Beach, which is 29582. Little River area, last month sales, which is February versus February, up 10.0%. Median price kind of flat. It's only up 2.3% from 381 up to 390. So, $9,000 increase there, which is awesome. But check this out. Inventory in Little River, 29566, is up 42%. Last year was only 208 listings on the market. Right now, 296. Not a whole lot of condos. Loris and Longs, which is 29568, 29569, up 68% closed sales, which is awesome. Prices down 4.6%. Inventory down 35%. Sorry, inventory is up 35%, which is crazy. Conway sales down 4.6%. Prices up 2.8%. Overall, Carolina Forest sales down 21.5%. Prices down also, down 4.8% from 448 to 427. Socastee area sales are up 28.4%. Huge increase there. Prices holding strong, up 4.7% from 340 to 357. Into Surfside Beach, the sales are the exact same. 35 last year, 35 this year. So 0.0 change, which is awesome. But prices are up 12.4%, which is great. 328,000 to 368, which is great news there. Georgetown, Garden City, Myrtle's Inlet, 29576. Closed sales up 31%, which is awesome. Prices down though, down 1.5% from 437 to 430. And into Pauley's Litchfield, closed sales down 10%, prices up 15% from overall 585 to 675. Inventory in Pauley's Litchfield up significantly, up 18.9%. So you're seeing a lot of changes there. Also, Georgetown, sales are down 23.5%. Price though, check this out, median price up 73% from 245 to 425. And so that's interesting right there. Obviously, it's a case-by-case basis. And so one thing you're seeing, prices are all over the place. You saw almost a 60% swing, right? One area is down 35% in sales, one area is up 35% in sales. And so it's important to understand this is why the agent you choose matters. They need to understand the micro market data about your neighborhood, your zip code, and that always goes in to how we pick strategies. And so that's super important. Dave, how much time we got? Like 3 minutes? I might just skip that next break. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna skip that next break. Right now, rates, they're pretty decent. They went up a little bit. Some inflation data came in. Rates are at 7.09%. They were at 6.92 last week. But I'll tell you, the market is on fire right now. We've been absolutely crushing it. We have a hot buyers alert with us. We do one thing every week is we like to read out how many active buyers we have because we outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. Literally, we spent almost $70,000 in marketing just last month to get buyers from all over the globe. And so we share this every single week. It's just a way of us putting our money where our mouth is. Our business model is much different, much more efficient than a single agent out there. We're all in alignment, which is how we create faster sales for more money. So right now, active home buyers looking for property here in the Grand Strand, $250,000 to $4.4 million. If you're thinking about selling, call us 843-808 sold. 75,619 active home buyers, 75,619 active home buyers right now. And so if you're thinking about selling, anybody you come across, friend, relative, aunt, uncle, grandma, if you like them, if you don't like them, say, look, you got to call my buddy Blake. They have the #1 team in Myrtle Beach, the top 60 in North America, and they're amazing what they do. Go ahead, save me the phone, 843-808. So really quick, shout out to awesome success stories. Bill and Joellen, they own a home in Myrtle Beach, recently decided to move closer to be their daughter's family because she was having a baby. Didn't want to miss out on the experience of being a grandmother, which is awesome, and seeing that baby grow up. But before they could buy a new home closer to the daughter, they had to sell their current property. Thankfully, Bill heard about us on this exact radio show, knew exactly who to call first. We came in, shared them exactly. We have hundreds of buyers looking at properties just like theirs and have them get it sold quickly for top dollar. I designed a custom plan, launched a global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtuality walkthrough, drove in massive traffic within 3 days, had a fantastic offer at almost full price. Now they can move on, buy the house close to their daughter, be present for that grandchild growing up. I have a 17-month-old baby and one on the way, so I know exactly how that is. So if you want to be the next success story, reach out, call us. We're hustling. It is a summer market coming to play. We're the spring-summer transition. Call me, 843-808 sold or blakesloan.com. Any questions you have overall. 1 minute. Also, I got one more success story. Alton and Jenny, they are past clients of ours, big listen to the radio show. They purchased a condo 7 years ago, made a decision now to move up and buy a single family home that better fit their needs. They had such a great experience working with us last time. They called us 7 years later to help them. We came in, designed a custom plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtuality walkthrough, drove massive traffic within a couple of days, had an offer almost at full asking price. They can move on, negotiate the closing date to match up perfectly with their single family home, and it was a seamless closing. So if you want to be the next success story, call us, 843-808 sold or blakesloan.com. We'll see you back here next week.